Hi everyone, Nicholas Lee here and welcome to day 2 of the Duty to Sell Challenge. And in this training, I'm going to share with you the real reason most people fail at selling. I've already shared some ideas in day 1. Now I'm going to go a bit deeper into this conversation, this explanation, so things get a bit clearer for you. Now, the main reason people fail at selling, and that was one of the big failures of selling when I started out, is firstly, I wasn't even aware that selling was a thing. I just thought I would go in a conversation with a potential client. I would just talk about the weather, about the things they want to talk about. I would just let them do anything, and I would, for some reason, make money and close a deal. Okay, so the first reason people don't sell is because they don't have the awareness that a sale is actually happening. And by the way, if you are aware now that a sale is happening and the people that you speak to don't realize that sale is something that happens, they just feel they buy for no reason, they just want to buy, and that there's no kind of process to it, then you are at an advantage in your business and potentially with your competitors. However, if you don't know that there is a process from A to B to get to a sale, then that may be the reason why you've lost money before. That may be the reason why you didn't close deals that you felt was like laydowns, that the person was ready, but you did the wrong things. For instance, one of my clients, Ravinda, where the testimonial and the video is somewhere in the school group, I think on the About page, she did mention that for 15 years, she used to make $1 million in revenue per year as a dentist, and she was doing quite well. But she realized that she could have made at least 10% more just by using a few things that I've shared. And she's only been working with me for 2.5 months. Now, I need to say she's working with me on a one-on-one basis, so it's a bit more tailor-made to where she's at. But the point is, she, just by making a few tweaks, she was able to then turn this around and add another 100K in 2.5 months of working with me. Now, the first thing that I work with her on is the identity of selling. Right now, like I said, if you don't even know that selling exists, that selling is a thing that you can do, but you're just speaking to your clients and you're just hoping that the sale happens, you already have a wrong identity. Because if you've got the identity of, let's say you are a wolf and you've got an identity of a wolf and you're hunting for your prey, the thoughts that goes in your mind is different than the deer who's running away from the wolf. The actions you take, the speed at which you run, the activities you do as a wolf is very different to the ones you do as a deer. Let me give you another example that may be a bit closer to most people. Right? Think of a smoker, and maybe you are a smoker, maybe you're not a smoker. Now, one thing I've seen a lot, because I've attended a lot of events, right, which are in hotels, which happens indoor, and I love to observe the smokers. Because the smokers, as soon as the event starts, you can already see their brain working. And I've spoken to a few of them, and I know that's what they do. As soon as the event starts, right, think of it. They're already thinking, when is the next break, because they need to smoke. They're already thinking where the exit doors are, because they can't smoke indoors, right? They're already thinking, and especially before when there were cigarettes, who is my person who has a lighter? Or who's the person who's got more cigarettes because my ones have run out? That's the identity of a smoker. Where can I smoke? When can I smoke? Who can I smoke with? Crazy, right? Now, let's compare this to a non-smoker. I'm a non-smoker. Do you think I'm thinking about where the exit is? Do you think I'm thinking of when the next break is so I can go to smoke? Or do you even think that I'm trying to figure out who the other smoker is, who my smoking pal could be? No. And that's because my identity is not that of a smoker. So those thought patterns, those actions, those preparations do not happen in my mind. Okay, now you take it back to the salesperson. The one who's a salesperson is thinking, okay, is this person that I'm going to speak to a good prospect, or do I have to push them away because they're going to waste my time? The salesperson is thinking, okay, can I actually help this person, or again, should I just let them go and redirect them to someone else? The salesperson is thinking, how can I help this prospect share more about their pain, their issues, so one, I can understand if I can help them, but more importantly, help them feel that pain that they've been having for some time, so I can help them see how life could be if they solve the problem by using my services, by using my product and my programs. Okay, so hopefully right now you're getting some aha moments, which I would suggest you start to write them down as we go along, because there will be quite a few, if I may say so myself. So yeah, write down any aha moments you're getting, because you're going to use them today. I'm going to share with you how. Now, the other cool one I like to talk about in terms of identity, especially in terms of how quickly someone can change their identity. Because right now you may be thinking, well, Nicholas, my whole life I've had this identity of not willing to sell, being scared to sell, being stressed when I try to ask for money. Well, here's the thing. An identity can be changed quickly. For example, even that of a smoker. I'm pretty sure we all have an experience or an example of a friend, of an uncle, of an auntie where something happened in their life and they moved from being a smoker to a non-smoker because there was a key reason for that to happen. However, we've also got stories of people that have tried forever to change or to stop smoking by taking actions like the patches or not smoking. But because their identity hasn't changed and they were still a smoker, meaning they were still counting down the days when they last smoked, eventually they fall back into being a smoker again. Because here's the thing. If you change your identity from a smoker to a non-smoker, like we talked about earlier, you wouldn't be calculating how many days you haven't smoked. You wouldn't be thinking about the cigarette, about the smoke at all. Does that make sense? Yeah? In the same way, the other cool one I like to talk about is a mother. And I guess many of you watching and listening here might be mothers. So maybe if you take your time and go back in time, and maybe some of you might be fathers, right? But I like to use the mother because it's a bit more, you can see it a bit clearer, right? Like the mother, she realized she's pregnant. And as soon as she knows she's pregnant, right, she becomes a mother. It doesn't take days and months and years to become a mom. Because as soon as you know there is something growing inside of you, your identity changed from being someone who is not a mom to someone who is a mom, because you have to think about someone else but you. You have to think of what you're going to eat. You have to think about whether you're going to drink alcohol. You're going to maybe be more aware of the physical things you do so that you don't strain yourself, so you don't put the baby at risk. And this happens in an instant. My point being, if right now you are scared that you're not going to be able to be a salesperson, you're not going to be able to influence people, if you change your identity, and again, don't worry, I've got a whole process to help you change this identity. And again, it can happen overnight, but I know not everyone will know what to do to change that overnight, because it's not as easy as being a mom, where the whole life changes in an instant. Sales and influence is not something that is as tangible and as simple as, not as simple, but not as tangible as being a mom. So I have a whole list of activities, exercises, practice that will help you get there. So don't worry about it. But I did want to make you aware that it is possible to do, especially the identity side of it. And I'm going to start to give you the thinking patterns, the thought process that will make you a salesperson, an influencer at a much higher level faster. Because let me ask you a question. Who do you speak the most to every single day or every day? At this point, when I ask this question, and I've done it 100 times with many people, usually the answer is my mom, my dad, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my husband, my wife, my kids. But if you think about it, if you think really hard, and as you think, realize that when you're thinking, you are speaking to yourself. So the answer, even if I don't know where you live, who you are, how old you are, what do you do in life, I do know for sure that the person that you speak to the most is yourself. Because whenever you're thinking, you are speaking to yourself. Let me give you an example, right? Let's say you were born in China and you only knew Chinese. Would your thought process be in English? Or would it be in French? Or most likely it would be in Chinese. Same example, now you are in France. Would you speak to yourself in French, in English, right? It's the same. So every thought that comes to your mind is actually yourself speaking to yourself in the language that you've learned to speak to yourself. If you then take it a level deeper, the language that you're using, the words that you're using in your thought, unless you're someone who, was reincarnated and you've got some kind of crazy level of knowledge from back then, anything, any words, any thought process, any language you're using when you speak to yourself would have been learned somewhere as you were growing up, from your family, from your school, from your environment. It doesn't just appear on its own. And this is a very, very important point for you to take on, because if you had to learn those words, those languages, those terms, would you agree that you can unlearn them and learn new ones? And this is what I'm going to share with you in the next few days with the reticle activating system. I'm going to show you how to reframe a lot of the language you currently have, because as you learn them, depending on where you were born, where you were raised, a lot of them could have been very negative thoughts, negative language that defines your identity, that defines how you see the world, and that defines your actions and the results you get out there. So there's a lot here, but I thought I will seed some of those and I will go in detail in the next few days so you understand what they mean, how to use them, how to change them to benefit yourself. Okay? In the same way, like I said, right? I want you to realize that any thoughts that goes through your mind, whether it's good, whether it's bad, you need to realize that it's your responsibility, because you're the one that controls it. You may think thoughts just happens to you, but I can promise you, and I will show you how to change it, you are the ones that create your own thoughts, and your thoughts will create the actions. Okay, there you go. Will create the actions that then creates the results that you get in life. And if we take it a step back, the identity that you have will very often also lead into the thoughts you get, the actions you get, and the results you get. So instead of me giving you actions to take or thoughts to have, I prefer teaching you, changing your identity so that everything falls into place a bit easier. And more importantly, it will grow. That's why I call it seeding, because it will grow. And by the way, anything I'm teaching you here is the exact same thing I do in sales, in influencing people. Very often, I don't like to kind of push ideas, thoughts in people's mind, because they will, of course, defend themselves. What I tend to do, which I'm going to teach you, is how to seed concepts, principles, ideas in people's minds and allow them to let it grow and germinate in their mind, which eventually at some point they'll come back to you and say, well, so I've had a few people come back to me and say, Nicholas, you talked to me about this thing the other day. I think I've got a great idea. What's cool with what we do and what I'm going to teach you is the great idea that the person comes to you with is the exact idea you wanted them to have. But you never said it, you only seeded the idea. It's a bit like Inception. If you watch the movie, one of my favorite movies, Inception is what we're doing. And again, you need to do it from a good place. Don't do it from a negative place, because it's not going to be good. But if you're coming from a great place, you have a great product, great service, and you want to seed to the people to do those things you need them to do to improve their life, go for it. In the same way, use it with your loved ones, with your kids, with your partners, to help them enhance their own lives. But more importantly, use it for yourself. Okay? Now, here it says, introduce the AHA concept and the importance. And I've already shared some of it. So what I mean by AHA concept is that throughout you listening to me, I hope you have already seen, written down some aha moments that you felt whilst listening to some of the concepts I've shared, some of the teachings I've shared, or some of the things which appear very common, very simple, but explained from a different perspective allows you to see something deeper that, again, is seeding into your mind something that will make a massive difference to you going forward. Now, those aha moments, the reason they are important is one for yourself, and I'm going to share more around the reticular activating system, because the more you can find them, the more you're going to learn and the faster you're going to get to the results you want to get. So that's why I want you to keep finding them, keep putting them down, and keep writing them. The other reason you want to see them, write them down, and share them in the community is because other people will learn from you. Because we all come from different background of life. We all have different expertise. We are all good at the things we do. So therefore, we are filtering the world from our own perspective. And therefore, the things I'm sharing, you're going to see it from that perspective. And therefore, your aha moment will be from that angle. What is crazy as well is as you start to do the exercise I'm going to share, your perspective, your filters are going to evolve, change. So if you come back to this training, come back to this challenge in 2 months, in 3 months, in 6 months, you will see new aha moments, because some of the ideas I'm sharing today, some of the skills I'm sharing today will not make sense right now. But as they make more sense next time, you will see more. The way I think about it, an analogy I like to use, is a bit like you have a bucket of sand, you put a layer of sand, and as you may guess, there's air in between, so you push it down as hard as you can, so it gets even stronger. That means then you can put more onto it. Right now, hopefully today's not too much. I know I've covered quite a bit. It might get overwhelming. Don't worry about it. I will cover them again and again and again, and you will start to see how it makes more sense. So you don't need to go back through this whole training again if some of the ideas just went above your head, because I will cover them from different angles, from different perspectives, with examples, with exercises where it will start to make more sense to you. So keep going for the challenge, keep going for the training, keep taking action, and write down the aha moments you have right now and share it in the community in the way I will share with you how you do this, because I will be able to understand where you are. But even better, as you go through this journey, through this evolution, you will be able to go back. So let's say we are 30 days from now, 60 days from now, you go back to the first aha moments you had. You will sometimes even laugh at yourself as to, oh, why did you think that was an aha moment? It's not really that important 30 days or 60 days from now, because now you understand it from a deeper level. It doesn't mean it's a wrong aha moment. It just means it was the aha moment you had at that point, and therefore you need to keep writing it down and keep sharing it. Okay, so now let's go into the tracker. I'm going to pause quickly. Okay, so I'm back in the school community. So you go to community. You'll see there's loads of posts going on here. Then you go to classroom, go back to phase 1, and you should be there already anyway. So if you go to day 2, you will see that I have written my ahas for the day, and then I put my ones. You will see below there's a pinned post. Right here there will be the video you're watching right now, but right below it you will see that there's a post which I've pinned, right? What you want to do, so we can keep track as to the days and to your aha moments for the days, and as we go along there'll be more things to fill, and you will get to see more as to how you're growing yourself. More importantly, you're going to see how others are growing, which is going to be pretty cool. So if you do that, you would copy this, right? You would go down here, you would paste this, and then you just put the ones that matters to you. A, B, C, D. D, E, F. G, H, I. Okay, this is just an example, but what you would do, you would put down whatever you want to write. You could have 1, 2, 3. If you have more, do put more. That's all good. I'm just going to put those ones back, so it's cooler to have the right things. You can also put a GIF, you can put a smiley, you can do whatever you want, and you could click on comment. Okay. Now the reason we want them on day 2 is so that we can start to see what people are learning from the same day's training. And if you go down the list here, you will start to see what others are learning, what aha moments they are getting, and you will start to inspire yourself. And sometimes, or most of the time, you will learn what others have seen that you didn't see yet. And this is, to me, how you get to learn a lot more faster. Now, the other things you would want to do, and we're going to keep doing it going forward, so don't worry if it doesn't make sense now. I will keep on showing you until it will make sense. But what else we want to do here, we want to find this and copy it. And you want to go back to community. And you want to go to ahas. Actually, you want to go back to community. You want to go write something. And just put my ahas for the day. Title, you could put ahas for day, or we can call it day 2 ahas. Now, the reason that why I'm saying to put those aha moments in the aha category is because then, if we go to ahas, only the ahas will show up. Okay, actually those ones need to be changed here, but because this is not an aha, this is more of a general. This one I don't think I can change. That's okay. But the point is, and you will start to see it over the next few days, we're going to have all the ahas populating in this section. And therefore, if at some point you feel down, if at some point you're not sure whether sales is the right thing, where you're going with it, come down to the ahas and you will see how much people are learning, how much you've learned, how much you've grown, and it will bring back this inspiration, which I believe is the most important tool that you need to have, right? If you're struggling at home, you're struggling with business, come down to this community, go back to the ahas, and eventually I'm going to teach you on the next video as well, on the next day, the wins. If you need help, come down and go in the help. Now, the key thing I need to teach you as well is every time you're going to write any of those, you need to first come to community. You need to write it here first, and then you come down here and you choose whether it needs to be categorized as a help, Dragon's Mirror, don't worry, I'm going to share again as well, and the wins and the ahas, okay? But again, do not worry if all of this is new and it doesn't make sense. I'm going to keep on sharing it with you until it makes sense. Now, the other thing I forgot to do actually is this. So we just did day 2. We've done the community post, which we now need to find and put it here. So the community post was, if you go back to your classroom, you go back to this, you go back to community here. If you open up this one, you're going to find the comment you've put, and you click on the 3 dots, copy the link, you come back here, and you need to double click so it opens this, and you control V, and that's you doing those, okay? So that's you having done all of this. As you can see, this is the 30 points, and this is really good. So we're going to put them all 35 points because we've also done the aha post. So for the aha post, remember, you copy this, then you come to the community, you're going to create a post with this, and you're going to put, okay, you didn't take it, but you're going to put day 2, aha, and don't worry, I'm going to keep on teaching you this over the next few days, so don't worry about it, okay? So that was it for today. As you can see, we've done day 0, day 1, day 2. Very excited for day 3 because there's a very important exercise that I'm going to share with you that will hopefully make a big difference in your life. I've learned this 15 years ago and it made a massive difference to me. I've shared it with hundreds of people by now and they all have got massive results from it. So don't miss tomorrow, day number 3. Let's keep rolling, let's keep going, let's get you to that duty to sell identity where you will start to sell more easily, feel great about it. And if you go back, let me show you actually, if you go back to the About page, feel free to listen to Ravinder's video or Bhav's video, and you will see on both situations, they now feel more confident, not stressed to have conversations, they feel more controlled about their sales conversations, and this is what I want for you guys. But you do need to do the work, follow the steps, keep going through it, and you will see results. Okay, that's it from me, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.